true money horror story. $26,850 gone in less than 60 minutes. This is the true story of how I, a 26-year-old freelance designer from Austin, Texas, had my entire life savings wiped out. I'd spent 89 days grinding 12-hour shifts doing food delivery, saving every single penny to surprise my mom with her dream car, a $30,000 gift to pay her back for a lifetime of sacrifice. And one notification, one single moment of weakness burned it all to the ground. If you do DoorDash, Uber, Instacart, or any kind of gig work, you have to listen to this. This scam is targeting people just like us. Stay until the end, and I will give you the exact 3-step emergency protocol that got me 90% of my money back, and the one app that will make you practically scam-proof. The grind was brutal. Anyone who does gig work knows it's a non-stop game of chess against an app. You're constantly calculating gas, mileage, time, and whether a $7 order is even worth the wear and tear on your car. The financial pressure is crushing because if you're not driving, you're not earning. For 89 days, that was my life. My back hurt, I was living on gas station coffee, but every time I looked at the savings account, it was worth it. The number kept ticking up. $20,000, $25,000. I was so close. Then it happened. It was 10 p.m. on a Tuesday, and I was about to call it a night. My phone pinged, but it wasn't a normal order. This was different. A pop-up branded with the official delivery app logo flashed on my screen. Exclusive catering opportunity, $500 payout for a 3-mile delivery from a high-end steakhouse. Verify your account to accept. $500. That was 2 full days of work in one go. My heart was pounding. This was it. This was the miracle order that would push me over the top. The pop-up looked so real. It had my name, my driver rating, everything. I clicked the Verify Now button and it took me to a login page that looked identical to the real one. I typed in my username and password, then my phone number to get a security code. The code came via text. I entered it. The screen glitched. It just went blank. I tried to reopen the app, but it said my login was incorrect. Annoyed, I thought, whatever, I'll just reset my password later. But a sick feeling started crawling up my spine. I opened my banking app. I just wanted to see the balance, to see that beautiful $26,850 sitting there. The app loaded, and the number I saw was $0. It didn't compute. I refreshed. $0. I refreshed again, my thumb jamming into the screen. $0. I scrambled to the transaction history. A single line item. Wire transfer. $26,850. Completed. The world just stopped. The sound in my car, the hum of the engine, the streetlights outside, it all vanished. All I could hear was the blood roaring in my ears. A full-blown panic attack took over. My chest seized up, I couldn't breathe, the steering wheel felt like it was miles away. This wasn't real. It couldn't be. I pulled out my phone and went to the picture I always looked at when I felt like quitting. It was a picture of my mom, smiling, standing next to her old, beat-up station wagon that was always breaking down. The car she drove for 20 years while working 3 jobs to raise me. That picture used to be my fuel. Now it was pure poison. Every ounce of pride I had, every bit of joy I felt watching that savings account grow, turned into the blackest, most toxic shame I have ever felt in my life. I didn't just fail to save the money, I had actively, stupidly lost it. I had handed it over to a thief. The thought of having to tell her what happened, it was unbearable. The thought of seeing the disappointment on her face was worse than losing the money. I just sat in my car on the side of some dark road in Austin, completely broken. For a split second, the thought of just driving my car into a wall felt easier than facing this reality. It felt like the only way to make the crushing weight in my chest disappear. I was back at zero. No, I was less than zero. I was a failure who had thrown away 89 days of blood, sweat, and sacrifice because I was greedy for one big score. After maybe an hour of just spiraling in that dark place, something snapped. The despair turned into white-hot rage. Rage at the scammers, but mostly at myself. And right behind that rage was a tiny, flickering thought. No, they are not getting away with this. That was my turning point. I didn't have a plan, but I had a new mission. Get that money back. I spent the entire night and the next day on a warpath of research, calls, and filings. It was a financial horror story, but now it's your survival guide. This is the 40% you stayed for. Here are the exact actionable steps to take the second you realize you've been scammed out of your bank account. Your goal here is to stop the bleeding and trigger the bank's legal obligations. Time is everything. Call your bank's fraud department. Do not just call customer service. Google the specific number for your bank's fraud department. When they pick up, you will use these magic words. I am reporting an unauthorized electronic funds transfer under Regulation E. Regulation E is a federal law that protects consumers from fraudulent electronic transfers. Saying this phrase triggers a legal process the bank must follow. They are required to investigate and, in many cases, provide a provisional credit to your account while they do. If you report the loss within 2 business days, your maximum liability is legally capped at $50. B. Freeze your credit. Log on to the websites for the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and freeze your credit. It's free and takes 5 minutes. This prevents the scammers from opening new credit cards or loans in your name. C. File 2 reports. Go to reportfraud.ftc.gov and the FBI's ic3.gov. This feels like shouting into the void, but it's critical. It creates an official paper trail of the crime, which you will need. The bank's initial response will likely be, "Sorry, you authorized the transfer. We can't help." This is often a lie. This is where you apply pressure. File a CFPB complaint. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB, is the government agency that regulates banks. Filing a complaint on their website is the nuclear option that banks are terrified of. Banks are required to formally respond to your complaint, usually within 15 days. In my case, after I filed, I suddenly went from getting the runaround from customer service to having a dedicated case manager from the bank's executive office call me directly. B. Document everything. Every call, every email, every person you talk to. Get names, reference numbers, and timestamps. Create a folder and save it all. This is your ammo. To make sure this never ever happens again, you need to make your real bank account invisible. Use a virtual card service. I now use a service called privacy.com. It's an app that creates burner virtual debit cards for you to use online. You can link it to your actual bank account, but when you pay for something or link a payment method to an app like DoorDash, you use a virtual card number, not your real one. You can set spending limits on each card or even have it locked to a single merchant. If that number gets stolen in a data breach or a scam, the thieves get nothing. They can't drain your real account because they never had access to it. It's the ultimate firewall. The bank fought me for a week, but with the pressure from my CFPB complaint and my constant documentation, on day 11 of this nightmare, I got an email. My Regulation E claim was approved. A few hours later, I logged into my bank account. The deposit was there, plus $24,165. They held me liable for $500 because I didn't report it within 2 business days, but I got back 90% of what was stolen. It was the biggest wave of relief I have ever felt in my entire life. This journey started as a way to surprise my mom, but it turned into a brutal lesson in financial survival. The support from you guys, reading the comments and knowing I wasn't alone, was a huge part of what kept me going. If this story helped you or could help someone you know, smash that like button. And for your own sake, subscribe so you don't end up in the next true money horror story. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your biggest financial mistake or the scariest scam you've ever avoided in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. I'll see you for the next story. Stay safe out there.